In Santa Fe province, there's not a cloud in the sky. A disaster for Argentina's pride and joy, today reduced to skin and bones. Times are tough, concedes the auctioneer.
The early morning floodwaters rose so fast in southwestern Arkansas, dozens of campers were stranded, and at least 20 people were killed. Authorities say heavy rains gorged the Caddo and Little Missouri rivers, the waters rising as rapidly as 8 feet in an hour.
It was a sudden and major storm that flooded towns and prompted the evacuation of hundreds of people in Victoria. Officials in the Australian state recorded more than 180 millimetres of rain. Rivers burst their banks and swamped.
New Yorkers are bewildered by what just hit their neighborhoods.
There's just trees, 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 trees.
It was just like a giant human car wash. Everything just started spinning.
A strong storm packing winds up to 100 miles an hour blew through Thursday night.
I had rocks coming in from outside in my window, and I live 8 flights up.
I never saw this before, never. We live on the 11th floor, and when we saw that coming,
swept through 2 states in northeastern Brazil. Power has been knocked out, property damage is severe, and tens of thousands of residents have been driven out of their homes. A helicopter was called in to rescue this resident from a rooftop. This child had to battle high water to carry his dog to safety. Several cities have declared a state of emergency. In one, the rain registered 14 inches over the last 3 days. In May of 2009, flooding in the same region claimed more than 40 lives and displaced
Flooding
several
continues to
hundred
be a
thousand
major problem for southern China today. And now the massive Three Gorges Dam is being pushed to the limit as water levels continue to rise. Here's more.
China's enormous Three Gorges Dam is facing the test of flood control as torrential rains swell the rivers that feed it. Much of China has been suffering flooding and landslides after weeks of torrential downpours.
In China, work crews were blowing holes in dams, racing to drain fast-rising reservoirs in different parts of the country to try and prevent flooding following torrential rains. To the east in Anhui province, rescue workers were using boats to evacuate people trapped in apartment buildings in Anqing City. Xinhua News Agency reported the storms, which started lashing the central and southern parts of a country last week, have left dozens dead and disrupted the lives of millions.
So we were heading off to this area where we were told there was a breach in the levee, and along the way we stopped because we saw this. This entire community has been flooded. You can see houses actually underwater just over here, and many of these homes, which are 2-3 stories high, have been completely inundated by the floodwaters. There's a river just over there. It looks like the levee, a smaller levee there, has been breached, and many of these people are now just standing around.
Storm over a Denver suburb today dumped hail like snow over Commerce City, Colorado. That's hail. Cars were dented by the hailstones. Windows were blown out. 6 to 12 inches of hail fell in some areas, enough of it to shovel like snow. Part of a huge and severe storm cell that moved across Colorado.
Tornadoes are touched down in Dallas County.
As the radio broadcast warned people to take cover, emergency crews fanned out across the Dallas-Fort Worth metroplex when as many as 6 tornadoes
has cut roads in the north, delivering up to 10 times the monthly rainfall in just a matter of hours. Amanda, the first big wet of the season has certainly been very widespread.
Well, Bill, as you can see, there is nothing but cloud from horizon to horizon, and that's been the story across most of the state. It's been wet, it's been cold, temperatures as much as 20 degrees below average to our west. Not exactly the ideal start for school holidays. The Sunshine State transformed into a pond. It's the soggiest and coldest we've felt it. From the far north down to the central coast, a road normally followed by tourists this time of year was today travelled by threatening, drenching
40 people are missing in Guatemala after a massive landslide buried up to 100 people. Tragically, the crowd of local volunteers had gathered to try to rescue passengers on a bus that had been hit by a wall of earth. A second landslide came along and buried the rescuers who were trying to help the earlier victims. Almost 12,000 people have been evacuated to emergency shelters after the Central American country was hit by
fueling a pair of
torrential
wildfires that have broken out near Athens, Greece. The fires are the first of the summer season. The first fire started Saturday afternoon in a mountain ravine. a little less than 30 miles northeast of Athens. No casualties have been reported, but a village has been largely evacuated.
Forest fires are
as the fire
destroying
has
parts of
moved
Bolivia, putting many at risk. The government turns to Brazil and Argentina for help in battling the blaze.
Bolivian authorities have declared a state of emergency as forest fires burned out of control on Thursday. The government has asked for help from Argentina and Brazil to quell the fire.
Value. Just think about the things that cannot be replaced, and of course we are praying and we're very hopeful that everybody here was able to evacuate. We have not seen any cars coming down. Now look at this shower of embers that's just coming at us. The photographer Rudy Leva really trying to do an excellent job, against these conditions. Again, the wind is just gusting, and it is a very erratic wind. It's not just blowing in one direction.
Doctors in Moscow say the smoky haze that pervades the city is having dire health effects. This lung specialist says the number of strokes and asthma attacks are up 50%, heart attacks are up 30%, deaths are also up dramatically. Monday, the head of Moscow's health department said that 700 people are dying each day. That's nearly twice the normal death rate.
Strong winds are fueling a pair of wildfires that have broken out near Athens, Greece. The fires are the first of the summer season. First fire started Saturday afternoon in a mountain ravine, a little less than 30 miles northeast of Athens. No casualties have been reported, but a village has been largely evacuated as the fire has moved south.
I've got a problem with my lungs and my heart, and I found it very difficult to breathe today, and if I'd had a mask, I should have wore it.
BC's wildfires are starting to be felt all the way in Alberta. Smoke is drifting to the east, and officials in Alberta say numerous people with breathing problems are in hospital. They've issued health warnings to all Albertans to stay inside.
In two wildfires that have forced thousands of Canadian residents to flee their homes. The flames that spread quickly after they erupted on Saturday have destroyed at least 9 buildings, and an estimated 17,000 people have been ordered to evacuate.